Yes, I'm totally ready. Do I sound okay to you? I sound sort of muffled to me, but that just might be me. Okay. How's the headphone volume for everybody?
Sounds great.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is it okay for everybody? Because everyone has their own individual headphone controls.
Okay.
Is it
You
too loud?
turned mine down a little.
Turn it down. Which
You
one
did.
are you?
You did.
Do you want me to turn it up? Is that going up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it
No.
changing?
I don't know. Is it yours changing?
Mine
It
isn't
sounds the
changing.
same.
This is
Mine
you.
sounds the same. Oh, you found mine?
This is me.
That's you. So was I? So this might be. Is this you,
Oh,
Link?
yeah, that's me. That's better.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
John, how does it sound for you? Okay.
I can hear fine.
You good?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear fine.
Tiana, is it too loud for you or too quiet or
That
what?
sounds perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yeah. It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like or what they are wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar today, we're at the fabulous Wayfair on Ferret Street, which is a bar and a restaurant. They have a happy hour here every day from 3 till 7, which is 4 hours. Everything is half price, and including bar food and the awesome cocktails that we have here. And today's happy hour is brought to us by Door Furniture. For 80 years, Door Furniture has served retail customers throughout the greater New Orleans area. From its home base on Orleanian Fields in the Marigny, now in its 4th generation, if you can believe that. Door proudly provides the finest quality furniture from manufacturers like Stickley, Century, and a wide variety of Amish-made furniture. Do you guys have any Amish furniture?
No, but I love it.
What is it?
It's very elegant and simple in its design. It's almost like Quaker-ish.
Quaker, is it really? That's the voice of Tiana Hux you're hearing here. I'll tell you more about her in a minute. Door's designers can also customize pieces for your home, from slip-cover sofas to dining room tables. And if you're on the North Shore, Door recently opened a second location in Covington. Door Furniture is about as normal as it gets, isn't it?
It's gorgeous.
John Fleming, wouldn't you agree with that?
I think it's absolutely a wonderful store.
Oh, all right, and thank you too to Strategic Resumes. If you want to sharpen up your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your other job search skills, give them a call at Strategic Resumes. And if you want to get away, start your search by checking in with Travel Central and Metairie. I don't know if you've ever done this, but are you young enough to, or old enough to have had a travel agent, Links? Do you know what a travel agent does? A travel agent does the same thing that you do,
Yeah.
except you don't have to do it. You don't
No,
have
I
to
haven't
spend
done it.
hours and hours on Kayak and Expedia.
Yeah.
The travel agent does it, and you pay them nothing.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that a great concept?
It's a wonderful deal.
Give them a call at Travel Central and Metairie. And that's been our whole show for the day. John Fleming is here. It's so great to see you, John. How's
Good
it
to
going?
see you too.
We've been
Been a while.
talking. John and I have known each other for how long? About 100 years.
About
And every time we run into each other, we say, let's get together and
Let's
do
have
something.
dinner.
Yeah, and we never ever do it. So we finally got together to have a drink here today on Happy Hour. And Lynx, Zohar, and John already know each other.
Yeah.
Have met
We met at Tipitina's.
with Steve Armbrister,
Right.
mutual friend.
So you don't
Yeah.
know each other at all.
No.
Not
But
really,
you just ran
no.
into each other.
We just ran into each other watching music.
We were having a great time.
So how weird is that of a coincidence right there?
And that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
A couple months. I don't know. Continental
Maybe
Drifters.
just a month.
The Continental Drifters.
Yeah.
So that
It
was
was
like over
awesome.
Jazz Fest.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a
Continental
great
Drifters, yeah.
evening. It was a great evening.
It was?
Yes.
Memorable for both of you?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a
All
long
right, that's the
time.
good thing
kind
about
of an
Tipitina's. Yeah.
old family, you know, the Continental
Continental
Drifters.
Drifters
and
at
I know
Tipitina's.
all of those
Right.
people in there
Yeah.
for years.
And Tiana Hux is here as well, also known as MC Sweet Tea,
If you're nasty.
one of my favorite recording artists in New Orleans.
Why, thank you very much.
Your record that came out, I don't even believe that was so long ago, 2005. That
2005,
record,
yes. and
Story.
then we just released a record. My band, Malavies, we just released a record on the Bayou for the Bayou Boogaloo, but we're having a party
Okay.
coming up, and then
Okay, so this is what's
Yeah.
so confusing
Just
about you.
more.
So
But
So-
way back then, pre-Katrina, I did
In
release a
2005,
record.
you had a record under your own name, Tiana Hutz.
That's right.
Is that your actual real name?
It's my real name.
That really is your real
Yeah.
name. And Lynx Zohar is
Wow.
not your real name, I assume. Or
well,
is it?
the Zohar part is.
Yes.
And the Lynx part is,
Is too. So the answer is yes, it is your real name.
but from different sources, not from my mom.
Okay. Where are they from? From both? Either of them from your mom?
The last name's from my dad, but the first name's
Right.
from, that was my first clairaudient experience. Not
Clair-
my first, but
Clair-
the first one I recognized as being a clairaudient
Clairaudience is being able to hear something from another dimension.
Ultimately, that's one idea.
Well, what is it?
So, yeah, basically, I heard a voice. I was in my tent cabin. I was 19 years old. I was alone. I knew that I was alone. And I had just come back from the mess hall. I was working there. And not in the mess hall, but in Yosemite, in a tent cabin. We're staying in a tent cabin. Okay, let's figure out the story.
Okay, so you're by yourself in a tent.
Yeah, the tent cabin.
What is a tent cabin exactly?
Well, it's got a wooden structure, but canvas walls.
Okay,
it's
so
a
why would you
tent
go to all the
cabin.
trouble of making a
I'm-
wooden structure and then not putting the rest of the
They-
walls in, I guess?
You know,
Can you roll it up so you're
just
sort of outside?
It just wasn't cold enough to matter.
Okay.
Nor was it strong enough to keep bears out. But I didn't have bears come in my space. But you know,
Okay.
you could hear.
So it's a tent cabin. How many tent cabins are there? Like a whole...
It's a village, and then
Okay.
there are places that can be rented out as villages, and then others are where those of us who work there lived.
What did you do? You were like a ranger or something at
No, I
Yosemite?
cleaned cabins. I was a bed maker.
You were in the sort of...
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
What's it called?
Okay.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping. It was
Housekeeping in a
housekeeping.
tent cabin.
Well, to me, I was in the woods, and then I went into a cabin and I cleaned the cabin, and I
Right.
got out of the cabin, I was back in the woods, and I walked to another cabin and I did the same thing. And I loved it. It was,
That
there was
sounds
no...
pretty good when you're 19, I would think.
Yeah. It wasn't.
And what sort of a-
Housekeeping. It wasn't this or that. It was
Right.
like do this and then go back to the woods and do this and stay. And then you live in the woods and you get paid to stay in the woods.
And what's the weed situation? Are you smoking a lot of weed at the time?
Well, I hadn't done a lot of that, but it was more mushrooms.
Mushrooms, okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably why you heard the voice.
Baked in a tent
No,
cabin.
at that time I had not been on the mushrooms, but it was a good chance that I had opened myself up to experiencing it because of the mushrooms.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're sitting in
But I
a
was completely
tent cabin.
sober.
Okay.
It was my day off. I went down to go see the food being made. No. I went down to go make myself some food. I saw some folks making food for themselves. They worked there also.
Making a sandwich. say.
Anything. They had something called soy milk. And
Soy milk.
I didn't know anything about that, but I'd been a vegetarian since I was 12 years old. They
Where,
had.
where did you grow up, by the way? Just to interrupt you for a second.
Huh?
Where did you grow up?
California.
California. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there you are at Yosemite.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I see
watching
these-
people making
They're making food.
soy milk food.
They're all dressed up to climb some mountains. Well, probably, Half Dome or, whatever they're going to do in Yosemite. They're going to go climbing, but they also work there, obviously, because they're in the place where workers are, So they're all dressed up with hooks and gear and backpacks or whatever they're doing. And they're making their breakfast, and it's granola and the soy milk stuff and stuff I didn't know about. And I'm watching them, and I realize I'm thinking to myself, boy, do they have it all together. They've got it together, man. Look at them. They've got it together. They're going to go somewhere with all that gear.
Did
and
you
they got
feel
it together.
bad that they hadn't invited you on the mountain climbing expedition?
Well,
you had to stay home and make beds?
I didn't
Cinderella?
feel like I was ready to be anywhere near where they were. So that's what gave me this deep understanding of like, whoa, wait a minute. If I'm looking at them and I'm thinking they've got it all together, who knows what they're thinking when they look at me? Maybe I look like I've got it all together. And I'm thinking, whoa, what do I look like?
Okay.
Then I realized that we were all our own universes in our own minds.
What time of the day is this? This is breakfast time. You had this
Breakfast.
thought. Okay.
Breakfast. It's a big epiphany.
Yes.
Everybody's got their own universes in their own heads. So I realize this, and it really thrills me. I'm thrilled.
And this
Plus,
is the morning after the mushrooms? Because that can still have an effect.
there's a chance of it, but doubtful.
Doubtful, okay.
I don't remember. I think I slept well. It hadn't been out. I just know that other things in my life had brought me to similar situations. But I was young and didn't know
You're
it.
only 19 at this point.
Yeah, so then I'm old soul. And I've figured out everyone's got their own universes in
All
their
right.
own heads. I'm leaving that space. I'm walking down the trail to my tent cabin. Along the trail, I see a medallion on the ground. The medallion has carved into it a lynx.
A lynx.
Now, I might have thought bobcat.
Isn't it the same? They're the same, though.
Well, one is American, doesn't have as long as the points on the ears.
Yeah.
The tail is shorter, and they're more orangey with dots of black. The other is more gray with a varied pattern. Just to say.
Wow.
Bobcat, so far, would still be a good name.
Well, it turned out it was
Yeah, you're right.
you
That
know,
would be nice,
bobcat.
Somebody took it already. Gold race.
That was Bobcat Goldtip.
Well, it was
Yeah.
no name that I would have myself thought of. It was nothing I would have thought of.
Bob.
I find the medallion.
Right.
I'm vegetarian. I'm curious whether this is real bone or not.
Oh, it's
Well-
a medallion that looks like it's made out of bone.
Yes.
Okay.
Or horn or something.
It might be
But-
some sort of Native American artifact, you're thinking? Or
No.
something that...
I think it was something we sold at the
Gift shop.
store, at the gift shop.
All right.
And somebody left it on the path for me to find.
All right.
Absolutely.
And I take it to my tent cabin, and I'm debating whether all of this stuff is, if it's real bone. And I'm thinking, well, it's nothing I'd really buy, probably made in China. The etching's very nice. It is well made. It's curious, and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it while I'm sitting in the doorway of my tent cabin with the sun shining down on me, nobody in my tent, and all of a sudden I hear, "You will be called Lynx." And I flip around. I look to see who's behind me. It was a female voice. It was up at the top corner of my tent cabin, and nobody was there. I didn't say, "Who said that?" I said, "When?" And then completely forgot about it. And as psychology would tell us,
What a letdown. Yeah.
and as psychology would tell us, if you experience something you can't really register because it's not normal, you will forget about it just to protect yourself in whatever fashion. So I forgot about it. Within months, I'm in San Francisco.
Can you tell us what your name was at this point?
Oh.
Or do you not go back to that?
Well, all right. Now the whole world's going to know.
You don't have to tell us.
No, you don't.
You don't have to tell us if
Don't
you've
have
left
to
that
tell.
behind you. But
Well-
you had some other name completely. I'm not going to make you do that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just go back.
Okay.
When
so,
I'm leaving Yosemite, I have forgotten that I just heard a voice.
Right.
But the months go by, I forget that I heard a voice.
It was a woman's voice.
And it was a woman's voice. I get
You
to
will
say,
be called Lynx.
"You will be called Lynx. You will be called Lynx."
See, the way you say that,
Dramatization.
Yeah.
Dramatization.
And it was
But the-
intense like that.
but the
It
way
was.
you say that, it sounds more like a guy, actually.
It was just a very authoritative, or not
She
authoritative,
had
very...
a low voice.
Yes,
Right.
"You will be called Lynx." And I felt like she pointed a finger at me. "You will be called Lynx."
So you didn't see anything.
No, but I felt so direct, like, whoa, shaking, looking around, going, "Who said that?" But it was like, then I felt like, all right, okay, forget about it. 3 months later, leave Yosemite. I'm in San Francisco. It's a whirlwind of woo-woo cars going by and everything. And this young guy on the side of the street says to me, and I say young guy, I'm 19, whatever. I don't know how old he was, but I'm old soul. I'm old soul. And he says, "Hey, sister, you want me to do your animal totem cards?" And I thought,
Totemly.
yes, totally. I'm from California, totally. Absolutely. Tell me my totem animals. And he does the reading. I'm not even paying attention because everything's just whirling around like crazy. That was very good. Loved it.
That's a good joke.
And-
What drugs are you on now?
Absolutely nothing,
Nothing.
but bliss.
Okay.
My own chemical responses to the happiness I choose.
What are you doing in San Francisco? Just hanging out, or are you going
We
to
just
school?
decided
or-
to go to San Francisco.
It was we. Who's
She's
it?
anticipating
My
her
friends.
animal totem
Yes,
reading. Is
right.
what she's
That's
doing.
why you
They're
were
like,
That's why she's
obviously
there.
Go to San
directed.
That's why she's
Francisco.
there.
If you make it, they will show up. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
so
Who are you with?
I'm with some friends who were working with me in Yosemite.
Okay.
So we go to San Francisco. He does my totem animals. Well, now I'm not paying attention. Lights, colors, sounds whirling by me, and all of a sudden he goes, "Huh?" And he catches my attention. And he says, and I said, "What?" He taps on the cards, and I look down there. There's got to be like 12 different cards, and he says, "You've got a lot of lynx energy." Lynx energy? Seriously, 12 different cards, and all of a sudden, boop, 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 all my synapses. I remember I heard a voice in the tent cabin in Yosemite telling me you'd be called Lynx. And I just reached down and I said, well, I told him the story. I heard a voice. It said, doo-doo. And he reached up to me and he said, well, nice to meet you, Lynx. And from there, I continued on with having everybody.
Very nice. That's a great story.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you, Mom, Dad.
How long ago was that?
Oh, I'm
a
many
long
years
time ago.
older
now.
now.
Because you were 19. So whatever it was quite a way back.
Yes.
And you've been Lynx ever since.
Sure enough.
Okay, John, how did you get to be called John?
Yeah, John.
Let's go around the table.
Well, I was born Leo, and I didn't like the word Leo at that time.
Is that true?
No.
Just go for another cat.
And you heard a
My
voice.
mother and my father gave it to me. It was the ordinary way.
So you didn't hear a voice telling you you'll be called John?
No, I hadn't heard a voice yet.
Nothing yet?
Not yet.
Well, that's a good question, though. And Tiana, well, that's an extremely unusual name,
Yeah, that's nice.
isn't it?
That is a family name,
Is it Russian?
Greek.
Greek. I
Greek.
wouldn't have guessed that.
And my family last name was Malavitas, and that's the name of my
That's your band.
name now.
Malavitas.
But I also renamed myself MC Sweet Tea, if you're nasty.
Right. It's very hard to keep your sort of career together because
I'm saying it's
That's-
extremely difficult to keep
Yeah.
a career together. Lynx,
What-
you know.
I can't.
You know, John, you seem like you've got it together.
Yeah.
John has it totally together.
Nice. We can point out John seems to have it together.
Yeah. You should see what John does if you're online and you can look at this while you're checking this out. John's got his website is johnfleming.com, I believe, and Fleming has 2 M's. John makes beautiful art out of leather. Mostly masks and other stuff as well.
Well, I worked with leather for quite a while, and it gave me a way to travel.
Since before Lynx was Lynx, actually. I think.
Since before Lynx was Lynx, yeah,
It's a new
quite a
saying,
bit before.
Since before Lynx was Lynx.
Yeah. So it's sort of back in time. It's BL before Lynx.
Yeah.
So you started in the 70s? You were making your
Yes,
first stuff?
yes.
Because I read on this bio, this is the first time anyone's ever sent me a photo of a bio. Graham,
I know because I don't send them out much. I had to
just took a
find
photo.
one, so I took a picture of it.
Look at this. It's really great. The photo of a bio from some time back that Graham DePonte sent me, our producer. And it says here that you started making leather stuff in 1971.
Yes.
Which is a long time ago.
Yes.
And also it says in India.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know about you, which I thought was curious because leather is made from cows and cows are
Right.
sacred.
Well, there are not only
In India.
Hindus there. There are
Here's
also
John's
Muslims.
masks here. Look at this.
Ooh,
Very beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Sorry for interrupting you, but Xerox just got these beautiful masks, aren't they? They're really works of art.
John, do you have a shop down in the French Quarter? Because I feel like I've been in there and seen your stuff.
I had a man who represented me for years, for about 30 years, and now there's a small shop that has some smaller pieces in it.
Where do you sell mostly? At festivals and
I travel around the country. I do festivals in different parts of the country, and then I do the Jazz Festival usually here.
right.
And most of my work goes out of the city, and I've been doing it a long time.
Okay, so go back to 1971 and you're in India.
Yeah.
Are you just traveling around?
Well, I had been in India a while. I traveled across to, Asia, Afghanistan, Iran, all of that. And when we got to India, I was broke. So I was in Goa, which was the beginning of a scene in India which was
Psychedelic.
hippie heaven.
We're back on
And,
the psychedelics.
So I was on the Marrakesh Express going the other direction. And so we got there, and I had to make some money, so I met a Mexican-American guy. He was making sandals on the beach. And I had an idea. I saw when I was in Bombay before I got to Goa, I was in the Muslim section, which is where they make all the leather goods, where they tan leather, where they dye leather, where they do everything. The Hindus don't do
Well, what's
it.
the deal
they
with
wear
the,
it,
what's
but
the
they
deal
don't
with
do
the
it.
cows?
They don't eat them, but they use leather. They wear leather
But they're not
sandals.
killing cows, though, right? They're not slaughtering
They
them.
It's a complicated system they arrange so that
Well.
it gets done.
And that's when, that was in the 70s, because now India has taken to killing cows in great fashion
Oh,
for
really?
quick money
Really?
Oh, I don't.
for American leather companies.
Wow. I thought cows wandered
Sadly.
down the street there.
Sadly.
Well, they do walk around the streets there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Do
then
they
they
s-
get grounded up. Well, anyway.
Oh,
I
well.
mean,
ground
herd-
up.
I meant to say they get herded up, and then all of that happens.
Rounded up, I think. you
Yeah,
said.
that's what I
So-
meant.
Right. But have you been to India recently, Lynx?
No,
Okay.
but I know a lot
So-
of people from there. I deal with a lot of monks and nuns within the tantric faith of Ananda Marga. Wow.
Ananda Marga?
Yeah,
I can't find
Okay. Ananda,
that's another note. But
isn't
it is
Ananda
sad.
Marga some sort of weird cult?
Sure is.
What is that all about?
No,
It's
just
not-
kidding.
it's-
It's not.
Ananda
No,
Marga's shoe cult.
Ananda Marga.
Isn't it some sort of... it's
No,
not
that's
sh-
Imelda
nothing to do with
Marcos.
shoes. No,
Sorry,
that's Imelda
sorry,
Marcos.
sorry.
That's another good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Shoe cult.
Yes.
She's good.
Yeah,
A lot of people are in that.
Totally
You
different
too.
thing.
Thank
Totally
you.
different thing. Totally different.
Okay, we'll get on to Ananda Marga in a minute. But
Okay.
so there you are in 1971 making sandals on the beach.
So I went back to Bombay, and I bought a lot of cobra skins, and they were every color. And so I went back and I made some belts out of it. And I thought they looked really nice. They wrapped around your waist, and the tail hung down. The tail was hanging down. So the guy said, "Well, where are you going to sell them?" And I went back up to Bombay, and I told him, "I'm going to go to the most expensive hotel in Bombay, and I'm going to go to the gift shop, and I'm going to see if they'll buy them. And if they don't, I'm going to go to the second most expensive hotel in Bombay, and I'm going to go to their gift shop, and then I'm going to see how much I can get." Well, it was the Taj Mahal Hotel where I went first, which I knew best. The Oberoi was the other big one. And the gift shop bought them.
All right.
So I had some change, so I went and bought some more cobra skins, and I went back down to Goa. And I did this 2 or 3 times.
And had anyone taught you how to make leather stuff at this point, or you just
I had never touched it before.
you just started
I
doing
had made a bladder for a fuel pump of an old 49 Ford I was driving back from Indiana once, but no, I had never touched it before. And then I had to figure out a way to make a living because I wanted to travel, and I figued I'd have
Had
to be
you thought
able
about
to
going
do,
to college or anything like that?
Oh, I already finished college.
You finished with all that?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
a Bachelor of Fine Arts and
Okay.
stuff. I taught school a year, and then I went. Well, then I went and I got to New Delhi with that money. And I went and I bought a cow skin, I'm sorry, and I cut it and I made a travel bag. And it had a lot of beads I had from Afghanistan and fringe hanging all over. It was like a big postman's bag, but really nice looking. And all I had was a hole punch and a knife I'd gotten from a rug maker in Kabul. And so I said, well, if I could figure out a way to make a living and stay on the road and make something in a hotel room, I'll get to the next step, what I want to do with my life. So a guy saw the bag and in the next hotel room, and he ordered one. So I stayed another week, 2 weeks in New Delhi. I made him one, and that got me to Kathmandu. No, they got me to Varanasi. And then this progressed, and that's how I did for traveling. And I went back to Europe, and I did it on the streets of Paris and south of France. And one thing led to another, and I started making what I thought were pretty nice things. And I did my first art show in Avignon in France. And this was in 74. And it had a kind of like a craft fair you'd have in America here, outside the ramparts.
So in 3 years, you'd gone from just making your very first thing to now having your own art show in France.
I was driven. No, I didn't have an art show. I was
You were
part
at an art
of
show.
a craft show.
Okay.
I got involved with an organization of American artists who were living in Paris. And the government in France is very strict about who gets to do one thing or another money-wise, any kind of commerce. So within this group, a woman made an umbrella group, so about 5 of us could show our work. So I went down and did it, and I lived with some theater people who were from La Mama Theater Company in New York, and they were performing, and I was doing this, and I just had my first little girl was born, and she was about 3 months old, and I I made enough money to get back to the States. So I brought everybody back to the States.
It's a pretty romantic story, isn't it, Tiana? Are you coming up with something to top this now?
Beautiful.
And then I got back here, and we came to New Orleans the first time. And it was 72 I came before I went back to India, yeah. I was in New Orleans once, I told you about Eddie Kurtz, my friend Eddie.
In 1972.
I came for a couple of months before I went to South America for a couple of years.
Wow.
Did you save one of those belts for yourself?
I don't have one. No, I gave them all. Once the thing's done, I'm not real connected.
Understood. That'd be cool.
No, I'm interested, but I'm not real connected in the
Yeah.
sense of having to have it in my hands anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, we have to stop for a second because Tiana,
Yeah.
I don't think these guys even know what you sound like other than a couple of words
Except for
you've
making
said.
cool jokes with them at the
Yeah.
happy hour.
So I want-
talking about your
I want these guys to hear what you do. So just give us a sort of a brief recap because, as I was saying, it is confusing. You were Tiana Hux for a while, which is your real name.
Oh, still am.
You are?
I'm also
Okay.
I'm Tiana Hux Dews is my married name.
Oh, you got
I
married to
hyphenated.
somebody in the meantime.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
married. So Tiana Hux Dews is now my
Dewews.
Dews. That's the way you spell
D-E-W-S.
Dews. Woo!
Dews. Okay, it's like Jews, except with a D.
Like morning dews.
Okay. Oh, it's like the dew. Okay.
Hux, it's Hux Dews though. I really like the two of them together.
Hux Dews.
So
I'm going to write
that's
that on the
nice.
tablecloth. Hux Dews.
so
That
I
does look good. Okay, but you're using that as well because now
it's just
it's hyphenated.
No,
Hux Dews. Not
no,
hyphenated.
it's not hyphenated.
It's
I said
Asher,
hyphen
it's
though,
not
didn't
hyphenated.
I? I said hyphen, but it's not hyphenated.
It's not hyphenated.
No.
Okay, so it's Tiana Hux Dews, which is a great name, but you're not recording under that name.
No,
This is where it's very confusing.
I'm.
So the record that I really like, which is a
Oh my
classic album called
Thank you.
Story,
Thank
which
you.
is really a classic album, is recorded in 2005, and that's under the name of Tiana Hux.
That is.
And that's on Spotify. If you listen to this and you want to find out what the hell I'm talking about, do yourself a favor and go and listen to this record called Story from beginning to end. It's really an exceptional record.
Thank you.
I'm surprised that, because it doesn't sound like anything else at the time or even now. It's completely original.
It really got a little washed out in Katrina. You know, I made
Right.
it and we released it
Well, that was a
literally
bad
weeks before
Forgot about
the
that.
storm, and I was making this work here. I had this. Speaking of mushrooms, I was having a vision at a hip hop show that I needed to become a rapper. I was like, oh, that is it. I was making performance art in college.
Did you really have a vision?
I did. I really sincerely had a vision, and I always loved rap music. And I was making all this interactive performance art and theater, and kind of the call and response aspect of it, and.
Well, what did the vision look like?
It looked like I'm gonna do that, and I'm not gonna stop.
Well, when you say a
working
vision,
on
was it a person talking
It was
to
me. No, it was like me doing it.
Ah, you saw yourself as a rap.
Right.
As a rapper, so I started to
Okay.
work on that, and I came here, and so it was.
Oh, where
it had
was
to
that?
do with
Where did you
this
have-
was in Austin.
In
I was
Austin,
living in
okay.
Austin at the time, and I was starting to. But I was starting to make work here and make performance art here, and so I was starting to have my life. There's such an opening that I felt. Such reception in this community, in this space, artistically, so just rich and incredible, and so I just felt like, okay, I could do that here, and at the same time, I saw this amazing, beautiful burlesque show, and it was kind of like at the very start of the neo burlesque thing, a group called the Shimshimettes, and they were at what is now One Eye Jacks.
Shim-Sham.
The
Right.
Shim-Sham and the Shimshimettes,
Right.
and I said, that's it. I'm gonna be a rapper, and I'm gonna have a burlesque show. So I had this vision, and I moved here, and I realized it, and it was kind of
So you
peaking
did
out.
that.
We were having a great time, and this was 2005, and doing great shows, and then 3 weeks later, you know what happened. You know what happened. I was like, wow.
We all got destroyed.
Was
that the universe trying to tell you something?
I don't know.
Do you believe that sort of thing?
What
Like Lynx
was
does?
the universe telling all of us? I mean, we all went through it, right? I mean, is the universe telling the whole world that the climate is changing, and we're on the forefront of it here in our city, and it was so, unique thing that happened here when it happened 10 years ago, and now it's happened in Puerto Rico last year, and in Houston, and then it was in Sandy in New York, and it's like all over the Gulf Coast.
It's been more than 10 years now.
It's
You're
been
so
almost
right.
13
It's been more than 10 years.
It's
correct.
been 13.
And now
Yeah.
check it. You know what happened, what my parents said when they heard that Katrina was going to hit New Orleans. I think we're in California. They said that one's going to be a bad storm.
Are they meteorologists?
No.
They also hear voices.
That's interesting.
They also hear voices.
How long before the storm did they say that? 'Cause pretty
knew
much
it.
everybody-
Clairaudient? Is that what?
Though it's spelt differently, that is my birth given name.
Clairaudient. Claire.
Katrina.
Whoa.
No. Okay.
I guess it was great. I waited to tell
That
you.
really is a fantastic piece of timing, wasn't
That
it?
was wonderful.
Yeah.
Go
With
on.
the C.
Go
With
on.
the
That's-
C.
Coming
Go on.
around.
That
It is.
goes. That's got to be a highlight of the whole happy hour forever. That's genius.
And I didn't even know I'd eventually be living here and hear everyone talk about, how devastating it was. And then remembering my mom said,
Like,
my
Mom and
grandma
Dad,
said.
why'd you say that?
Yeah.
Why'd you make that happen
Yeah,
for me?
yeah.
Okay, so
But
now
they knew it because I was powerful.
Exactly.
I had to come here.
Exactly.
had
that
to be
is
here.
that is crazy. Okay, so Tiana,
Yeah.
MC Sweet Tea,
That's right.
Malvitas.
Yes, all of them.
What the hell?
Why not?
What are we talking
Yeah.
about?
Why
here?
not?
What about MC?
Jay-Z, Sean
What?
Carter, Marshall Mathers, Eminem. It's very traditional for rappers to have more than
Right,
one name
okay.
and different
And
monikers.
Malvitas.
And keep people guessing. Oh, what? And it also keeps people confused and very hard to draw.
It's very hard to sort of.
Yeah.
It's not
You
good
know.
for marketing purposes, which
And
is.
that's always been a
That's the
problem for me.
problem.
The marketing has always been an issue.
Yeah,
So.
well, we need to. You need to straighten up here and get one
Well,
persona.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe management would be a good idea. Do you have any management?
No, that would probably be a good
anyway,
idea.
listen, I'm going to make you listen to this. Now, what are you going to sing for us here?
Well, I got a little song. It's called Yes. Management is a good idea. And other parenthetical words.
Right. The song's called Yes.
It's called Yes.
Okay,
All right.
check it out.
Happy hour at the Wayfair. What up, y'all? Happy hour. It's New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? It's New Orleans. Yeah, please. Got some backup on there. At the Wayfair. Don't forget. It's cool. It's just the lead-in. This is just the lead-in. Don't worry. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. That's what I say all the time. It's gonna get better. Fricky, fresh, as complicated as I wanna be. And get up and turn off friend TV. Because I'm standing right in front of you. Laptop, cell phones, just put them down, dude. Jam, like that kind you spread on breakfast toast. Damn, when do they play it on the radio? Hypnotized by glamazons, I get paid to speak the truth. Broke and then recycle into something new. Anywho, ain't no biggie, it's just what I do. Not on the TV, I am in front of you. Heart inside my hand and through the pen, and then we might it. I thought about you when I made it, hope you like it. Priceless. Now I got you thinking that I'm pretty sweet. T sees you looking awfully thirsty, it hurts me. But y'all, it really ain't about me. There's the bar. Do you wanna know what I think? Yes, is the name of the song I wrote. You wanna hear it on the radio? No corporation paid me to say. Wasn't thinking about fame on my name when I made it. Fresh, that's the name of my song. That's what I'm singing all day long. Get up and turn off friend TV. I want for you to sing with Sweet Tea. No, doesn't mean a damn thing. We know how to make it way more interesting. Show you the list of stuff we gotta do. Sound like your ma, because I'm telling you, don't wanna feel bad about yourself. It just feels better when I spit it out. It's like a bad taste. You're killing me. Infotainment on the web is lame, same on the TV. Feel me? You think you like it cause it sounds old school. You sing it with me cause it make you feel really cool. Off the press cause we can't just play the old one. Did our best, made it fresh, so you're yelling, play the new one. It's fun. That's where I am and where I'm gonna be. Song keeps playing in my head as I'm laying down to sleep. In your dreams, you don't think, you just do what you like. Break it up as you go, write it down. Am I right? Yes. Yes. No. Hey. It's like you've never heard it. Fresh and I think that you deserve it. Freshy fresh, it's like yes, like you knew it all along. Dude, you gotta write your own song. Like a dog, you see me picking at this bone. I see you nodding, so I know I can't be wrong. Catalyst, understand, it ain't about my life. Into this, feeling grand, lay my head down at night and load it up because we gotta go. You never hear it on the radio. I don't know, moving on. Got no more time for this, write it down so I can remember it. Adios, been the most. Bye-bye and Avitas ain't the do with the goat and the boat I'm waving from the train. Yes, yes, my name, MC Sweet Tea is my name.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Lynx, what did you think about that?
Well, I have to say,
Ooh, Johnson's a rapper too, but please.
no. John, you're a rapper too?
Stepson.
Yes.
Oh, stepson.
He's not with
It's still in the family.
Lynx, you're a singer-songwriter as
Yes.
well.
What?
Yes. I'm not singing anything. I didn't know that I was going to sing anything. I don't know if I'm going to sing anything, but
Can.
all I know is that
cool.
I love rapping too.
Yeah, girl.
And I like burlesque. And I went to burlesque show because now I'm in New Orleans. Shall I say New Orleans? And I went to the burlesque show and I was like, oh my God, I would love to do music for these shows. And there you are doing rap and the burlesque shows. I didn't put those two together, but now I see that that's possible. And I'm not going to go, I have no idea what's going to come from this moment forward.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
get with the burlesque
Yes.
and do your song with them too, just like you said. You're like, you're like, oh, I want to do
Okay,
that,
thank
so you're
you.
gonna do it, right?
Thank you. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm still starstruck after what you just did.
Yay!
Yeah.
Perfect. You're so Lynxy,
Yes.
Lynx. I'm so excited to
Yay.
hear that.
Okay, all right.
That's very impressive to be able to sit there and do that, isn't it?
I love
Just
it.
to be able to...
Well, I'm usually like on a stage and stuff, so
Right.
you're like,
It's
it's
very
usually like a little
intimidating
bit of
with all
like,
this. Yeah.
like a little more, distance, but it's fun to do it at this table in this way that's conversational and it's like telling you a story because that's the
Is
whole
there-
purpose of a rap
Is
is
there
to tell
any
a
way
story,
to
right?
do? Is there any way to do a couple of lines from "Jesus Is My Sugar Daddy" song?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it right now if you don't want to.
All
but
right.
You
I'd like
think
to
about
hear
it.
it.
No, think
It's
about
a really
that.
great song.
Okay, great. Yay.
I know you don't. Doing requests is probably.
I would eat.
And you. So sort one other thing out for us here, Tiana. What was your connection to this movie, Waking Life?
It was great.
I
It was around
remember
around the same time that I was coming to New Orleans and starting to find my life here and my voice here. I was in Austin after going to art school there and doing a lot of film, doing a lot of video, and working within the communities doing film and video. There's so much film in Austin. It's a wonderful place for that. And was just in the mix with a lot of people and the
Richard Linklater.
Richard Linklater. So the casting director for Rick Linklater was a friend and a mutual friend, and she saw a performance art that I did. I did like an evening piece, and it's funny, I did a piece called Yes, No, and it was like asking all of these questions, and then the answer was either yes or no, or I was
Right.
asking the audience different things. So this was kind of like at the same
I
time.
don't want a straw. I know.
He's got it. He's quoting me from Waking Life.
It's my absolute favorite movie of all time. I'm not even joking.
What?
Come on.
I love
How about that?
Waking Life. Yeah.
Isn't it a trip too,
You-
where you're like,
you're in-
oh no, you're that person. I've met people at bars a
You're
lot
in my
who are
dreams,
like,
aren't you,
oh my
Tabitha?
God.
You're in my dreams. You're the one who helps wake me up from my clock being set, and you pitch the live opera. No, the live talk show.
Yes, it's like a soap opera.
Yeah, live soap
and I feel
opera.
like that's really what Facebook became,
Yeah, wow.
Thomas,
soap
how about
opera.
that?
No, that's amazing.
That's
like
pretty
no, this
crazy.
is my absolute favorite movie. I watch it all the time.
Wow.
I like
This
your
is so
her
great.
scene is like
Of course
top
he does.
two
Of course he has.
in the movie. If not
So
number
do you
one.
have a lot
with
of-
the
do you
bullet.
have
Well, this
fans
is what's
who are
really
in lo-
fun. You get to hear
like-
like the more of the story
And I was like
on
sitting
it.
here like
You
trying
get
to
hear-
figure out where your voice is from. As soon as you said that, I was like, which one is she?
Yes,
'Cause
I've
I
actually
know
met people in
all the
bars
monologue.
who recognize me from my voice
Yeah.
in the movie and are like, "Whoa, this is happening to me."
So
you
you're
know,
like a
here."
cult. You're like a cult figure from that movie. people like Thomas in love with you.
It's so cool because it's animated. So it's all these people, and they're in this
but
dream.
Just stop for
and
one
so
second. Did you have anything to do with the creation of that
I
movie?
did.
So
I did.
What's your connection to it?
I created my part because, so like I said, the casting director was a mutual friend, and she saw this piece that I did, this piece with other artists, and it was like an evening length thing. And so she said, "Oh, will you come in and audition for us for this thing?" So she told me, a couple of, they had kind of a structure written, and then people had space to improvise within that. So I went in, I prepared something, and I went in, and Rick and why am I spacing on her name? But she's just great, Lizzie Martinez. They said, "Oh, we don't know how you fit into this, but we love you and we want you to be in it." So then Rick and I had some sessions, maybe like 4 or 5 sessions, where we would talk for like an hour, and so we created this. My part in the film, and so it's like we wrote me into the film. It was a unique.
Wow!
I don't want to be an ant.
No, I don't want to be an ant. And it's so fun too. The woman who animated me, so I knew a lot of the artists who were the animators and painters on it, because there were just tons and tons of artists. Took like 14 hours for like a minute to happen in Austin.
Oh, it's awesome.
And Rick is a great filmmaker
you're one of these people that you meet in New Orleans who you have no idea who the hell these people are until you start talking to them. You realize that you're one of these people who've done all kinds of amazing stuff.
It's happy hour.
Yeah.
When you're like,
it's
yay,
extraordinary.
That's why I live here. It's
this
so
film,
fun.
This film is incredible, and that album of yours is incredible.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here with such esteemed guests. And
it's exciting. And
having happy hours. Really
I've watched that movie at least 24 times, if not more than that.
I love that.
So what happens when you do something like that? And have you gone on to do other? Has Richard Linklater called you about doing anything else, or did it help your career at all?
I jumped over here. It was like at the time I was starting to come over here to fulfill this vision that I had of being a rapper, and I've seen Rick other times, but I moved here really at the same time that the film came out to do this music.
What made you move here and not Hollywood, for example?
To make this, to rap and make this burlesque, make this performance art with, rap and burlesque and actors and clowns and acrobats now and like a cast, So I love it. It's so fun to work with other people and work with what they do.
When you had that vision of the future and you saw yourself in the future, is that what you've become?
Absolutely.
Did you become that vision?
Yeah.
Have you had that experience?
You remind me of a very good friend. She's a clown and a stilt walker, and she body painter, and she lives in Montgomery, but she's here a lot working. So.
I got to meet her.
Her name's Kim, but it's pretty interesting. You got the same energy.
New Orleans.
See, links that says
it's the kids too. It's the thing with the kids also. People who work with kids.
Do you work with kids?
I do.
I love working with
she
kids.
does also. Yes.
What do you do?
Kids too.
Yeah.
Clowning, and then I was having a kid party business in Austin, like Mary
so
Poppins. I was doing
Also
Mary
what I thought about
Poppins
doing.
parties.
Okay.
Mary Poppins.
You played Mary Poppins.
So I'm Mary Poppins too.
You're Mary Poppins too.
Yes.
What do you mean by that, Lynx?
What?
I know what. You're my new best friend.
Yes.
Jinx,
Yes.
Lynx, buy me a Coke.
Right. Okay, I will.
What
But
is-
I don't want to. I want to buy you something healthy.
Right. I don't really drink Coke. It's cool.
What's Mary Poppins refer to, Lynx, in your world?
What's that?
What does Mary Poppins refer to for you?
Oh my gosh, I love working with children. I'm orderly. I can communicate with them on the level of like, hey, little star bean, I see you. You see me? See me seeing you?
Yes.
And then we're like, yeah, I see you. We see each other, and it's really fantastic. And on that level, then we get into deeper stuff, and we start just enjoying life.
Absolutely.
And it's the playfulness, and then it's, we've got to clean the room because Mom said so. Well, gosh, let's see. What needs cleaning? All right, I'll fold those. You fold that. You don't know how to fold? Folding's so much fun. Let's fold. Let's put some music on. Let's sing when we're folding. And that's where the Mary Poppins comes in. I was a nanny.
Absolutely.
I'd been a nanny.
I still am.
we're always nannies.
Yeah.
I had once been a nanny, and I'm still a nanny. Ain't no stopping. Ain't no stopping.
Ain't no stopping this
Are
nanny.
you really a nanny, Tiana, for real?
I really am a
Yeah.
nanny. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. And I work with children. It's
Yeah.
great here. I work with my best friends. I nanny for my best friends. So
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
beautiful because, beyond the client, relationship is a lifetime of friendship and
Yeah, right. You see him grow up.
beautiful.
Okay, so Lynx, what do you do on a sort of daily basis? Is any of these things a job? Can I read through these?
Okay.
This is what it says in your bio that,
Okay.
that Graham, our producer, gave me. It says that you're a metaphysician. Shall I just do one at a time? Or should we go through all of them and pick one?
Oh, well, I guess let's go one
I'm
at a
gonna go
time. Or do you want to go through?
I'm going to go through all of them, okay,
Okay,
about
let's
this,
go
and
through
then
all.
somebody else can pick one. See where you want to start.
Okay.
Metaphysician, massage therapist / healer, animal whisperer, CNA. I don't know what CNA stands for.
Nurse's assistant, certified
Oh,
nurse's
certified
assistant.
nurse assistant. Oh, here's a good one. Death doula.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like a birth doula.
Nanny. Well, we just did that, nanny. Singer-songwriter, storyteller, inventor, emotionally intelligent, time-jumping dream traveler, and an indigo starseed flower child.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Do you take apprenticeships for that whole dream traveler thing? Because I'm
You know-
kind of already
Promises.
there.
All right. Okay.
So,
okay.
John, you want to pick one of these to start with? Do you want to have a refresher? Here's the list. Pick one of these. Seeing you
Tutorials.
and Lynx know each other already from tips.
I want to hear about the dream travel.
Okay.
Dream traveler.
I mean,
Okay,
there's no
starting
doubt
with dream
about it.
traveler.
All right. Okay. So let's go way out there, little people.
Okay.
And basically, it comes down to this. At one point, I found that I was doing lucid dreaming. And lucid dreaming was very fantastic.
Which is the subject of Waking Life for those of you who are not
Yeah.
on board
Yeah,
with that whole train.
yahoo!
Just to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
Okay.
That's why he wanted to know more. Okay, so here we go. So, lucid dreaming is the idea. Now, I only say idea because we could come up with a lot of ideas of what's happening when that happens. But the idea around lucid dreaming that most people agree on is that you have awareness of being in the dream. You can motivate within the dream on command, move things, do things as you can in this waking world. So, I was doing that a lot. And I actually got in a lot of trouble. And that's just another story. And then I found out that there's astral police and they come and get you and you get in trouble.
You got in trouble in another dimension.
What? More about that, please. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm a troublemaker. I get into
Okay.
trouble frequently. Troublemaking.
Yes.
What is with astral
Right? Well, that's why I got in
police?
trouble.
You were in trouble in another dimension
What
in your
happened?
in your lucid dreaming.
Lynx, what happened?
What were you
Okay.
doing?
Well, now, I actually can't go into those details.
Were you,
Because
were you
they
having,
won't let you?
No,
Were you
Because
having
I'm-
an affair with
I'm
I'm
somebody?
in jail over there.
Were you having an affair with somebody in your dreams?
I'm in jail
Did you
over there.
Did you
and
steal
I'm
stuff?
innocent. Okay. Basically, there's a bus station. There's a bus station, okay? Imagine there's people standing and sitting at the bus. Someone's at a bench and he's sitting. He's reading, or he's sitting at the bus station. There's a
This
woman.
is a bus station in another world.
Yes, in my
Okay.
dream.
Yes.
This is only an example. I truly am not even going to go into the details of my discrepancies. I'm not.
We don't have to get details, but the broad strokes would be good.
That's where I'm going with
Okay.
it. Okay. It was personal. It was personal.
Okay.
It really broke my heart because afterwards I realized what I had done. Okay. So, and that's my business. Just saying.
Okay.
I learned my lesson, okay? Okay.
Do you want to
I
have
know,
a
it
bet
was-
what this is?
Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay, all right. So you've got a bus station, you've got a man sitting on a bench and a woman standing holding a book. I walk over, I see the book she's reading. I want that book. It's my dream. I'm going to have that book. I grab that book out of her hand and she pulls. Well, I want that book. It's my dream. Why are you pulling? Give me that book. I'm going to take that book. This is my dream. I'm in it. I feel it. Feel me?
Give me
feel
that
me?
book.
Feel me?
Give me
Give me
that
that book.
book. I
Give me
want
that
that
book.
book. No,
Right?
it's my book.
Okay. So I take the book. Well, in the struggle of taking the book, the dream disseminated. What happened on the other side was a man sitting on a bench watching a woman being jerked around and being pushed aside and her book being thrown on the ground. And he goes, oh my God, what the hell just happened? I just said hell. Sorry about that. What the hell just happened? And she, because I don't know, oh my God, I was just holding my book and I just felt something pulling on it, and then I just let go. That's what was going on in that reality after I went in and so rudely decided my part was far more important. What I learned from that, though, was that I was really there. And those people really did feel me. And those people are aspects of myself, extensions of myself, extensions of my psyche, playing out the same creative source like we all are. There's one big creative source, and the source has us all take all of these different forms and all our different propensities, and all our, everything coming together, and we're all the same being in all the different ways. So after I had that experience, I didn't have lucid dreams again. I started having something else, which became even far more greater, but I had to earn it. Like, I really missed lucid dreaming, and I knew that I had misbehaved. I just ruined it. And, that's how, and, I don't get to have them anymore. Okay, fine. But what I woke up to was the fact that I had affected another reality. So what was happening to me in this reality, I was having all kinds of similar things happen to me as you and I, all of us sitting at this table, would be sitting here.
Are you getting to a point here?
Sure enough.
Okay, we're getting to the point of the infraction.
No, we're not going there.
We're not talking about the infraction.
We're talking about dream travel.
The book thing, that wasn't the infraction?
No, we're talking about
so
dream travel.
So we're not going to get on to the broad strokes of the infraction, which is what I thought we were talking about.
That is so funny. He asked about dream traveling. He asked about dream traveling.
I thought you were going to tell us what you did that was so bad in the other dimension that you're in jail in another dimension.
And what was so bad about you shaking up that
I was
book
completely
with
on
yourself?
board.
This
is like, you're like 80% there,
Okay.
90% there.
I'm almost there.
Right. So look.
So it's about dream traveling and time jumping. What happened was...
Time jumping.
Yes, time jumping.
Okay.
Now, I started seeing my dreams differently. Basically, what I found was when I would go into a dream, I knew that I was now actively participating through the eyes of selves. I was no longer lucid dreaming. I then was participating. Sorry. I moved away from the mic.
You got to obey that rule on this reality.
Okay. So, yeah. I would go into different realities. I would know that I was in the reality.
At will?
Well, no.
Or just by chance?
By chance is the other thing, is that I would find myself in the different realities, and I would go, oh, I'm here again. But...
Have you ever considered that you're, crazy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And is there any truth to that?
Good answer.
Is there any truth to that, or are you not crazy? Is it real, or is it all just...
It is so
some
real.
Sort of...
It's so real.
It's real. Okay.
Yes. You and I, we're all sitting at this table. All of a sudden, this pen gets jerked off and thrown over there. I should say that wasn't jerked.
That would be...
I didn't mean that. It was jerked out of the hand. Jerked out of the hand. That's all I meant. That's all I meant. And we would just all go, what?
If that really had happened, but you took the pen out of my hand and threw it over.
Now,
things,
the thing
right?
is this kind of stuff used to happen to me all the time.
Well, you just took the pen out of my hand and threw it on the stool.
Nobody took it out of my hand.
And you're like, you will be lengths, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're saying the pen in your world just flies across the room.
By itself. Okay. I would have things move by itself all the time. Now, others might say, oh, that was a ghost. But I knew energetically I was being talked to by my... at the time I just said spirit. But you could say spirit guides. And then I finally realized it was my higher self. It was an aspect of being playing with a me in this being and this life, having this fun little cocktail party in the afternoon.
Well, can you do that at will?
No.
Then, so even your higher self can't control your lower self.
The thing is other times that these things would happen, like the fact that John is here.
Yes.
And that I met you in the nut section.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I met you in the nut section.
At Whole
Am I
Foods.
crazy?
And Tipitina's.
I'm just a little nuts.
So normal.
Tipitina's, that's where I'm headed to do my next show.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So we know all of these things line up and sync together. So we're actually aspects of the same dream reality.
Are we all connected, every single being on the planet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all one cell.
Okay.
Divided. And then some's getting cancerous, and some's becoming white blood cells, some's being red blood cells.
Okay, so what subject are we on here? We're on
The dream jumping.
Time jumping dream traveler.
Time jumping.
Okay.
I'll give you an example of the time jumping.
All right.
So, I am 8 years old, and I'm living with my aunt. My mother has gone off to the army.
Oh.
Well, that's a good one right there. Your mother went off to the army and left you
Yeah.
with your aunt. What about,
Yeah.
where's your dad
were
at this
8?
point?
Wow.
My mom and dad split when I was 3.
Your mom and dad split up when you were 3, and then your
Yeah.
mom left to go to the army.
Yes,
She
when I
must
was
be a real
8.
patriot.
Oh,
Why did she want to do
Fox
that?
News.
Why did your mom want?
yeah, coffee, cigarettes, Fox News. Anyway,
Why did you want to leave an 8-year-old kid behind and join the army if she was
Well,
a solo mom?
That's
single mom?
That's what my next door neighbor is doing too.
All right.
God love them, but
Your
please.
next door neighbor is a single mother who's gone off to join the
Who's
army and
going
left the
to?
kids
That's her
behind.
plan. I hope she changes her mind. But
Well,
how old are
the
the
baby is a baby.
Why did your mom leave?
She's
a
just got. Is
single-
it a boy or girl?
Opportunity, a boy.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
She's just strengthening her warrior side because she's taken on a boy, and maybe the dad won't stick around. It's the truth.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
what was the explanation for why your mom left you with your aunt to go and join
My
the
dad
army?
was
Well,
out
what
of the
do you-
picture,
what
and
do
my
you
mom
mean
was
the
strengthening
man
her
left?
warrior
Strengthen
side.
her warrior side.
And
she's a-
I was going to have a boy.
Okay.
Well, my dad always wanted boys, so he'd always have our hair cut short. I mean, he was military, and it was weird.
Oh.
But,
Your dad was military and your mom joined the army. That's
yeah,
interesting. right there.
later,
Okay.
yeah.
Where did she go in the army? Did she travel?
She went out to learn how to drive the big rigs, the big trucks and stuff, and
Okay.
big.
And what did
big
you think? You were
trucks.
8 years old. What did you think about that at the time?
I thought, this is
that
neat.
cool?
I'm living with my aunt and my uncle. They're like a mom and dad. They've got it together. They're pretty stable,
Nice.
and this is fun.
Nice.
Swimming pool. And
Yeah, that helps a kid.
All right. So that worked out pretty good for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're 8 years old. You're living with your aunt, and then what? We're going to get on
How you
to
gonna time jump?
time jumping.
You jump.
Yeah.
You jump.
Okay. Within this house that I was living in, there was the living room. You moved into the dining room and kitchen. There's a little hallway into the family room, and other bedrooms on the other side of the house. But the family room, my sister and I had been given to stay in while my mom was in the army. That was our room. The threshold in that hallway was always a weird feeling for me. There was a bathroom there and the door to the garage. I would have to walk that space, and I'd freak out all the time. Well, one day we were going to the drive-in movies because they were drive-in movies. That's my age.
That's how long ago that was. Okay.
And my aunt, everybody went through my room to go, or our room, through the slider doors to get to the furniture, the lawn furniture, to take to the drive-in movies. We go through this house.
Okay, I'm still with you. Okay,
From
yeah.
the pool's on the back side where the family room is. There's slided doors. There's the pool. They get the lawn furniture. They go through the house.
We
the
should
entire
really
house.
do like a floor plan to get this straight.
This
here.
is the truth.
Is it
This is the truth.
Is it very?
Okay.
Is it important that we know
Yes,
all this
it's
information?
true. It is.
Nice.
It is.
I'm not sure why
It's
we need to know this, but
It's
okay.
very relative.
It
It's
is.
very relative.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are.
Yeah.
This is how it goes.
I'm interested to know that what a family room is compared to
Family
a
room is
living
where
room.
they would put the pool table. It was big.
So this is a pretty sort of wealthy family.
Wouldn't that be called a
Yeah.
billiard room?
So you,
Yes.
So you landed on your feet here with this wealthy aunt.
Sure enough. And
Is
here's
it your mom's sister?
here's the front door. Yeah, stable family.
Nice.
Okay.
Here's the front
Here's the
door.
front door,
And you
okay.
would go through here.
Yep.
This is the dining room, and here's the kitchen, and
Okay.
here's that hallway. But the hallway's slimmer, and that's to the garage.
Did they add this
and that's
on,
a
or was
bathroom.
this the original floor
The
plan
original.
when they bought the house? Okay.
And this is the bedroom we were in, and these are the sliding glass doors, and here's those are the extra rooms, and here's swimming pool and
oh, there's
whatever.
a pool
Get a
and
pool,
everything,
that's
and
cool,
outdoor
yeah.
furniture
Yeah.
is here. I see.
Yes.
Okay,
So-
now we've got that straight. We only have a few minutes to go. So
Okay. Now, okay, so we're going through. We get all the furniture gets into the back of the truck.
Right, we're taking the furniture from by the pool through the whole house.
This is very important.
You have to walk through the whole house to get the furniture into the car to go to the drive.
Now,
why do you take furniture to a drive-in movie, by the way?
We don't know. But through this threshold, I would always freak out.
To a drive-in
That
movie.
detail's not important.
I would always freak. I would freak out right
I thought
there.
that was the sort of driving force of the whole thing, but okay.
It's a red herring to this story.
Now, pay attention, children.
Yeah, okay, well, listen. Yeah.
Hallways are portals. Hallways
Hallways
and
are
doorways
portals.
are portals. Hallways and doorways are portals. Thresholds are portals. Okay, energy.
technically, yes,
energy
they are,
can
actually, but
be
you're suggesting
really
they're portals.
changed from one side to the other. Now, I was little, I didn't know any better. But I knew there was this energy here, and I knew the energy was different. So I would go through this threshold. We went to my aunt comes through. Everybody goes through the house, gets the furniture. But my aunt decides to get something, and I'm following her. I go through that threshold. I feel the weird feeling, but I know she's with me, so I'm safe. We go and we get the furniture. We come back through the house. We go out the front door, and my aunt, in a split second, closes the door and says, "Oh, I forgot my watch," when we used to wear watches. She opens the door, and in that short a time, from the mantle of the chimney, from the fireplace, the clock bolted on a big brick wall was off the mantle, across the living room, as well as the two glass lanterns that were on top of the oil lamps. They were off of there and on the ground.
Across the
they
whole
were
room.
completely across the room. In the dining room, there's a shelf and there's a glass bell. That glass bell was on the floor. Now, I'm going to skip
This is
ahead.
California. You are going to have to skip ahead because we have to get out of here.
I'm
But
gonna
was
skip
there
ahead.
an earthquake?
No, I'm going to skip ahead.
Okay.
I have a dream. I'm 20 years old at this point. I'm walking down the street. I'm lucid dreaming. I decide I'm going to walk and say hi to my aunt. I see the house. There's the fauna and flora. I walk the path to it. I knock on the door. My little self, I'm now in my little self, and I walk up to the door. I open the door. I see my older self, and I fall back in samadhi. Now, it took me a while to put together the fact what I had shown myself when I visited. Even though I was 20 years old, like 10 years later or something like this, when I had the dream to tell myself what had happened, the clock represents time. The lanterns represented the light. The bell represented sound. Through sound, in the speed of light, I traveled through time to see myself and show myself that I could travel through time.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
And that proves it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? Because we'll have to get out of here now to make way for actual paying customers here at Wayfair.
Pancakes.
Do you have one follow-up question to that? Anything? Nothing.
Question?
I think that answered everything.
That pretty much wrapped it all up for me.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Now I
Okay.
understand everything.
Yay!
So.
All right.
Well, so we
yay.
still have,
I think that
we
explains
still have
everything.
metaphysician, massage therapist, and many more to go. So we're going to have to come back here and do this again.
Yeah.
Are you guys available?
More
I would love
songs.
to.
Okay.
And bring
Let's
your leather.
reconvene.
I've been on this show for 2 years. I think this was the most hippy-dippy one I've ever attended. For sure. By, like, far.
It's just a damn shame that Andrew Duhon's not here today. And by the way, if you're looking for Andrew Duhon, his new record, False River, is out. You can find it at Spotify and all kinds of other places
And this
where you
isn't it?
steal and buy
What you're
music.
seeing right
And
now
what you're
is a
looking at is
poster. And we're having an EP release at Vaughn's Lounge on July the 7th.
All
So
right,
if you want to
put it
hear
on the
me sing
calendar.
some more,
July the
you
7th,
can go.
2018. The name of the band is
Malavitas. But
Malavitas.
we're actually playing on Saturday at Siberia, also at 10 o'clock. If all you people
Okay.
want to hear some more, if you want to hear some more songs, as you were requesting.
Yeah, we never got to our second song. I knew that was going to happen. of
Oh
course,
well, people got to come out to the show.
but-
right,
So the name of the person you're listening to is Tiana
Wiki,
Hux,
wiki, what?
but it's also MC Sweet Tea.
That's right.
So I don't know which one we're plugging here, and Melvitas.
Yeah, all of it. All the
All of
above.
it. So
all
check
of the
those
above.
all out.
Yeah.
Tiana, thank you so much for being
Thank
here. This
you
has been an
very much.
epic.
What a pleasure.
This has been an epic show. John
I love this
Fleming, I can't believe we
conversation.
finally pulled this off. We
We
got
need
together.
more than an
It's
hour.
awesome. And Link Zohar,
Yeah, thank
you
you.
have to come back again and do
Yeah,
this because we've
yeah.
only really just scratched the surface of time traveling.
Time
Hey, listen,
travel.
our show today was brought to us by Door Furniture. For 80 years, they've been serving retail customers throughout the greater New Orleans area. From its home base on Orleanian Fields, now in the fourth generation, Door Furniture provides fine quality furniture from manufacturers like Sickley, Century, and a wide variety of Amish furniture as well. They make all kinds of stuff from slip covers to dining room tables, especially for you if you'd like to have stuff customized. And if you're on the North Shore, Door Furniture recently opened another branch in Covington. Door Furniture is as New Orleans as it gets, and thanks to strategic resumes. If you want to sharpen up your resume, your LinkedIn profile, or your other job search skills, get in touch with them. And if you want to get away, start your search for a vacation with Travel Central in Metairie, where someone can actually do all that travel planning for you.
You
and
do some
doesn't
time traveling.
cost you anything, and time travel as
traveling.
well. Our
You
show
talk
is
to-
produced today by Graham DePonte and associate produced by Alison Moon. Christian Owner is our music director, and Thomas Walsh is our technical director. Our Facebook Live director who put this whole thing on Facebook Live is Asher Griffith. Andrew Searock is our fact checker and social media connector, and our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for about an hour, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com. We can also check out other shows we make here, including many previous happy hours and Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, and our award-winning podcast about death called Death the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. We're on all of it. We're called It's New Orleans, and you can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Facebook page. These photos are taken by Jill LaFleur. You can find more photos and info about Jill at lafleurphoto.com. If you listen to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you've got one, to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show was recorded live today at Wayfair on Ferret Street in Uptown New Orleans. Happy hours of production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, everyone else around the table here at Wayfair and back at our office at INO Broadcasting, thank you for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. I'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.